Good day, folks. Welcome to M&D Made Simple. I'm your host, Coach Alexander. I'm really glad that you've joined me today. I'm so excited because, as usual, I'm here to give you the best in monitoring and evaluation. Today, we're going to be looking at how do you develop and integrate a monitoring and evaluation framework. The exciting thing about today's topic is I want to talk about how the M&D framework can make your life so much easier, especially if it's digitalized. But before I go any further, I thought of just explaining a bit about myself. My name is Coach Alexander. For those of you who are here for the first time, I've been doing this for a very long time, 10 years now. But in case you didn't know, this channel was launched 4 years ago. We were taking our baby steps, and I can assure you, I never thought we would reach this far because we've got a lot of subscribers, we've got a lot of people interested in our work. So I'm so glad that you've joined me today, and I want to talk about some of the things that I have on offer. These ebooks you see in front of you are totally free. If you want to get a copy, just go in the description below. I know some of you have been facing challenges downloading these ebooks, but if you face a challenge, write to me. I'll be able to assist you to get hold of them. Then there's the how to set up a monitoring and evaluation system step by step. This is a very good course. It's being hosted on Udemy. Udemy is a very good website. I've been working with them for quite some time now. In a few weeks' time, there will be another monitoring and evaluation course which will be launched. It's an advanced level only for the big boys. So I would like you guys to be on the lookout. If you want to learn about the hardcore M&D stuff, please be on the lookout. I'll be launching that course very soon. So as usual, this is a long video, but not too long. But in case you easily get bored watching all the content, you can use the timestamp so that you navigate to the part of the video which is most interesting to you, okay, without having to watch everything. So without wasting more time, let's go straight into business. What is a monitoring and evaluation framework? Okay, so you've got the logical framework, and the logical framework gives you basically how the project is structured. It gives you also the indicators. But with an M&D framework matrix, it gives you the detail of how you are going to collect these indicators, who is going to be collecting them, and how often you'll be collecting. It even gives you the definition. So normally, some people will confuse an M&D framework with the M&D system. But these are two different things, guys. The M&D framework is actually a subcomponent of the M&D plan. And the M&D plan is actually a subcomponent of the M&D system. So the system is the totality. It's the whole essence of the monitoring and evaluation that you do. And the M&D framework is just a portion of that. But the reason why it is so beautiful is that you're able to, just by a blink of an eye, know how to undertake M&D activities in your organization by just looking at the framework. And I would actually encourage you, if you are new to any organization, they've employed you as an M&D officer, ask them for the M&D framework so that you just get a snapshot of what really is, how are they approaching M&D in that organization. So the template is what you see in front of you. So this again is one of the beauties that I like to showcase to my students and even viewers who come here. You see, the M&D framework, normally the logical framework will give you the goal, outcomes, and outputs. But that's the same thing the M&D framework does. It also does the same thing, except that it goes an extra mile to explain how the reporting is done, who is responsible, how often is it done, the data source, the target, and things like that. Okay, so this thing is so important, and as you can see right here, it has not been populated because it's just a template. But if you go to this next one, you're going to discover that it's actually been populated. And what they are talking about here, they've given an example of a poverty reduction project. Okay. So this poverty reduction project, as most poverty reduction projects have been designed, is meant to reduce the number of people living in poverty. Now, to get this information, the M&D framework will explain to you who is responsible for collecting what and how is it collected. So, for example, if you look at the overall goal, which is percentage of farmers living in poverty, the indicator for that goal is, of course, the percentage of farmers living in poverty. But how is this information collected? It is collected by okay, so you can see there's a data source there. One-on-one interviews with farmers using questionnaires. How often do you do that? Annually, quarterly. And who does it? It's the M&D officer. So this is pretty straightforward. And behind all this, you need the right questionnaires and tools to actually collect this kind of data. And in my experience, it's not always easy to do it, especially when you have to do it manually, which I'm going to talk about just in a few seconds' time. So now we get back to what I was talking about. The issue of manual and digitalization. The thing is that you don't need to be forced to go digital, but that's where the world is going. Everyone is going digital. And because that's where many people are going, if you're going to do transactions, if you're going to interface with others, they would expect you also to have some kind of digital platform. I can give you an example. You know, I these days I cannot just do email with people without somebody asking me whether I have a Skype. So because of that, because many people are asking me, do you have a Skype ID so that we can correspond via Skype? I'll just be forced to open a Skype account, which I've had to do. And that's just the way the world works. You just need to move where the others are going. So with the M&D framework, you have a hard copy in your organization. The question is, why should you digitalize and how should it be done? Well, digitalization of the M&D framework surprisingly improves effectiveness and efficiency. Okay, I know you've heard me just say surprisingly, but the truth of the matter is it really does. And to do this, to convert it from what you have on paper based, into a digital platform, you need the right software. And I've always talked about this. Some people get tired of hearing this, but I'm sorry to say that I'll keep talking about it because the M&D software is the critical point. And don't look at the cost or the time because you need to look in terms of the long term. What are the benefits? How will this help your organization improve? So this is partly why I've been talking about the this I brought this topic up because if you remember, one of the best, in fact I think they are the best, but that's a discussion for another day. KPI Lens is one of the leading software developers in monitoring and evaluation, and they have this facility which allows you, in a simplest manner possible, come up with an M&D framework in digital form, and it's so easy. Okay, I've been experimenting with their software and I would want you to also try it out. So maybe what I can just say is that in the coming videos, I'm going to explain to you how you can actually digitalize your personal M&D framework and how you can develop the tools. Because when you use this software, it actually improves efficiency and effectiveness. If you want to learn about these KPI lens guys, they have their WhatsApp line, which is here. And you can also go to their website. They are very good people, cooperatives. They are Ghanaians. I like these guys. So this was just a short introductory video, but I want you guys to interface with me. In the coming days, I'll release more videos, especially on how you can integrate your M&D framework into the software. Until we meet again, I've been your host, Coach Alexander, and see you on the other side. Bye.